If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Wednesday, May 29th, 2013. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Matt Tallman will join me in the Finis Monitor very shortly. The associate head coach at the University of Notre Dame was recently named Rising Assistant Coach of the Year by collegeswimming.com after a very successful year for him in and out of the pool. And Matt joins us now from South Bend, Indiana. Coach, it's good to see you. How are you today?
Great, Jeff. Good morning.
Congratulations on this award from collegeswimming.com. Just really quite a remarkable accomplishment for you.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, getting an award like this. It's a great honor, and feel privileged to even be mentioned in the breath with some of the other people. So I'm pretty pleased, and it's a great showing of a job well done by the whole team.
Yeah, it was a very busy year, and I want to start with the work that you and head coach Tim Welsh did for the swimmers this season. 15 men and women went to the NCAA championships. Last year, you had 5. I mean, that's a remarkable improvement over 1 year. I mean, what do you attribute to that happening?
Well, last year and the previous years, we were on the verge of having those kind of numbers and just missing out. And this year, just everything really came together. I think the nucleus of our team was able to come in last year and be successful, but I think with a year of experience under their belt and knowing more of what to expect, they really, just the experience of being with the program for an extra year really, really helped. And then we had some great senior leadership. That at the time they were recruited, the just recently graduated seniors were the best class we had ever recruited, and we knew we had some talent and had some just misses in the recent past. So it kind of all just came together. We did it too at IUPUI in February, and that got us back to IUPUI in March.
Well, as I said, your number of NCAA qualifiers tripled, and your number of NCAA All-Americans practically doubled. I mean, who was your standout performer from this past season?
Well, we certainly put a lot of weight on Frank's shoulders after the sophomore year that he had, and he certainly swam very well. Our team MVP is elected by the team at the end of the year was Zach. So it was a sophomore out of Pennsylvania that was able to score in the breaststroke and be a part of a lot of these for us. To be honest with you, just the whole process of our team getting better has been by design to be the whole team moving forward as one, and we haven't really had anybody, no egos or anything about, well, I'm the best guy and I'm the one who has to carry the burden. So at different times of the year, we've done a really good job with different guys stepping up. And like I said, at Big East, it was a total team effort, which was probably not more symbolic than the 100 breast we had at Big East. All the top 3 guys, all Jays, from Chris Johnson to Zach Stevens to Cameron Miller. So that event was kind of symbolic of the whole team and the whole season.
Must have been really exciting to win the Big East title knowing it's your last time in that conference.
For sure. I mean, that was motivation, expecting it to be our last time, we thought, but at that time we weren't absolutely positive yet. We thought we might still be in the Big East for one more year, depending on what went down with conference realignment otherwise, but we kind of always expected that it would be our last time, and it was great to go out on top.
Now, obviously, Notre Dame is known for its powerhouse football team, but as a swim coach, how do you convince athletes that this is the school that they need to go to get better?
Well, I think they come in here, I think first and foremost, we identify with guys that belong here and want to be here at an academically reputable institution that wants to excel at all levels in and out of the classroom. And I think our guys do a really good job when we host prospects, primarily in the fall, but all year long, identifying who fits in well with what we're trying to accomplish. And I just think over the past, I've been here a dozen years, we've just been able to at least get incrementally better as each year goes on, and that pays huge dividends when people see improvements.
Well, if it wasn't enough to be spending so much time working on making this team better, I understand you were very busy making some major changes to the way the NCAA selected swimmers and divers for the NCAA championships. What sparked the idea for this revision?
The interesting thing about that a lot of people might not be aware of is I worked on that for 5 years. That wasn't just a off-the-cuff thing. I think other people latched on, if that's the phrase used, but gained interest in it when last year's men's meet went to such few rows and only invited 17 or 18 people per event. It was back, I believe it was Federal Way NCAAs 5 years ago that I was just figure out it was at a point where our team was on the cusp, and certainly when it affects your own team, you start to think of different things, but it wasn't for selfish reasons. It was just for make the meet as good a quality meet and get as many quality people there as possible. And then just I had all the data from 5 years of how many more schools would have been there and what rows it would have gone to, and then in recent years they added the allowance to bring relay alternates at the school's expense anyway. So adding that to this process really didn't change anything from financially. Schools were already allowed to do it, and we talked at the pre-meet meeting at the men's NCAAs last year, and to be honest with you, Coach Salo was kind enough to throw my name out there, knowing I had worked on it a little bit, and just kind of rolled from there and went and had a meeting with Joni Comstock and Katie Holmes down at the NCAA headquarters and got it rolling, and lo and behold, it all went through somewhat surprisingly as quickly as it did, but it went through, and I think it was successful.
What did you see in the selection process that needed the biggest change?
The thing was simply finding a way to get as many rows as possible and filling in missing relays. Having coached only men for 12 years, I felt the change at least needed to happen on the men's side. But then when this all came into conversation at our convention meetings, the co-ed or women-only coaches agreed as well that it might not be a bad idea to do. I just thought that, when there's 12 or 13 relays invited and potentially the 13th or 14th through 16, 17, 18 relays are sitting home, and then they see the results that sometimes they'd thrown up could have scored year in and year out. That's kind of where this all started. That the meet was, at least on the men's side, a little bit incomplete.
So now that this has gone into effect for one season, how do you feel about the way it actually panned out?
I thought it was really good. I had a lot of positive comments at NCAAs. I'm sure there were probably a few people that would have liked to see some changes, and I guess nobody's probably going to come forward to me and make negative comments, but there were quite a few positive comments, and we just had our recent CSCA convention, and they allotted a significant amount of time to reflect on the changes, and there was really no comment other than the meet seemed to be very complete, and all the fastest, and the meet was faster than the past, so everybody, it seemed like, gave it a thumbs up.
Well, you should feel proud of the work that you've done. Have you had any opportunity to kind of take a breath and relax after this college season?
Actually, yeah. the fortunate thing of our convention being at Disney World allowed me and my family to go down there for a little bit of time before the convention, and I guess with a 5 and 12-year-old, you don't necessarily relax at Disney World, but at least we got away and got to get swimming off the mind a little bit, and now back at it with some guys showing up this week for summer school, and practice is starting up again.
Yeah, any time away from pool deck is a vacation for a swim coach.
Sure.
So you said you got some guys coming in to train this summer. How many people will be staying in South Bend to work with you guys?
We've got 13 of our guys. I think there's a half a dozen of the women will be here as well. And then we actually have 2 other guys coming into town from another school that are going to train with us. So we'll have at least 15 men, and I think it's a half dozen women. So it'll be a good group.
Yeah, so you're going to be very busy now. I would imagine you got Notre Dame swim camps as well to keep you busy.
We sure do. 2 weeks of those, one in June on the 16th and one in July starting on the 10th.
All right, well, you're back at it. I'm sure the vacation was a nice little break for you, but we're all looking forward to seeing how you guys do this next season. 15 men and women is a big expectation to hold up to, but I'm sure you guys are ready to increase the tradition of bringing a lot of guys to NCAAs.
Hope so. That's the plan.
All right, Matt. Again, congratulations on the award, and we'll see you guys on deck later this year.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
All right. So that was Notre Dame associate head coach, Matt Tallman, joining us for this edition of the Morning Swim Show. Be sure to follow us on swimmingworld.com for all the latest swimming news, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.